It's time for a fat tested walkthrough of Holiday World here in Santa Claus, Indiana. Holiday World opened 79 years ago in 1946 as Santa Claus Land here in Santa Claus, Indiana. Hey, Holly Dog and George the Eagle, how are you? Pleasure. By the way, I have a friend of yours possibly. What do you think?
You know Sam, George?
Do you know Sam?
Yes.
Long lost cousins? I have my Sam the Eagle shirt on. Because it originally opened as Santa Claus Land, this first part is very much Christmas oriented. And we even start off here with a nativity. First area we come to is actually, I think it's just been redone. This is Rudolph's Reindeer Ranch. They do have free sunscreen everywhere, just so you can keep safe, and they have free soft drinks. This is Dancer's Fish, and you have to be under 54 inches tall to ride this one. This is Dasher's Seahorses. There's a kids drop ride. Adults can ride this one. I cannot fit on this one though, the reindeer games. There's Prancer's Merry-Go-Round, and this one to ride on the horse, there's a weight limit of 65 pounds, and it's a 54-inch height limit. And then Comet's Rockets, another 54-inch height limit. I went up and asked them, and this is their accessibility guide, which is the most complex accessibility guide I've ever seen actually printed out. Usually you can find something like this online, but they actually have it printed out here, and it tells you all about the rides and the different things and the venues and everything. So this is excellent, and props to them for this. It's Kitty Claus and Safari Sam. Let's grab a quick photo. I have a skee ball arcade over here if you want to come play some games. I actually don't know what that prize is. I think that's a giant octopus, and it looks like it's already fallen. All right, now we're going to move into the Halloween area. Next up is the Raven, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary. It was voted the #1 wooden roller coaster on the planet in 2000 through 2003. This is named after The Raven, a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. You have to be 48 inches tall to ride, and is a high thrill ride. Yeah, that's going to be a no. It has a seat belt and a bar, but it also has a big divide between the seats, and I couldn't really get down into it. So unfortunately, the Raven fails the fat test. On to the next one. I really love how they did the flowers in this area. On to the Scarecrow Scrambler. You have to be 36 inches to ride if accompanied, or 48 inches to ride alone. I love a scrambler when it fits. So this one has a seat belt and the bar. Sometimes they just have the bar. This one is not too high off the ground either. You just gotta find the right spot. I just went for the shade. Plenty of room on the seat belt. And I believe we're able to close this, and it doesn't have to come down all the way because it locks right there. I think we'll be okay with that. So this is what it looks like. That breeze was definitely needed. And it passes the fat test. On to the next one. I think this is the only theme park I've been to where they have free sodas, and it's a very nice addition. Next up is a ride themed after the Headless Horseman, the Legend. Okay, we're going to be there. It's fine. That is the same ride design as the Raven. So unfortunately, we already know I can't fit on that one. On to the next one. It's a miracle. It's a Halloween miracle. They have Diet Mountain Dew. Also, they have those strong fans blowing to keep bees out, which is genius. That's something a lot of other theme parks could take note of, because it also feels really good. Next up is Hallow Swings. You have to be 48 inches tall to ride.
It feels so good up here.
I see we got one bigger dude on there, but he's not near as big as me, so we'll see.
One of those, yeah, you want that. How you do? You safe. You good. Yeah. Huh? You want me what?
So I was able to get in there with a little bit of trouble, but I couldn't get the bar down low enough. Maybe if I'd have had some assistance, we could have forced it in there. So you might be able to make it. I didn't want to ask the worker to help on that one, so didn't make it on that one, but on to the next one. All right, except for the water ride, which we'll do tomorrow. That's going to do it for Halloween, and we're going into 4th of July. Next up is Revolution. 42-inch height requirement, and you can't be over 77 inches. So this works is you get in here, and then this is going to go over that. Let's see if I can make it work. Unfortunately, we're a little bit off on me being able to do that. The cord was a little too short. If it had just been a little bit longer, that'd be something great they could do that would probably still be very safe. They just put 1 or 2 in there that's specifically for larger folks. I think that could be pretty handy if they'd like to consider that. All right, next up is one of my favorite style of rides. It's the Eagle's Flight. So with these, you just have to get into it. This one's a little bit higher off the ground. I don't know why, but the seatbelt is way too short. Okay, they do have a seatbelt extender. I just saw him give one to somebody. I'm wondering if they have another one. That's awesome. They actually did have seatbelt extenders. So just go ahead and ask for that as you're getting on the ride. And a lot of the people that were smaller but had 2 people still need a seatbelt extender. So this is great. Oh, that feels good. Next up is the Holly Dog Express, and I believe this was, I mean, obviously it's been updated, but was an original attraction. It is a big step up, though. It is just a bench seat once you get in there.
To the right is Little Miss Muffin, a loose spider at Frank Caraway. Mary, Mary, quaint and cheery, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row.
That was really cute, actually. I kind of enjoyed that. I mean, it was short. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it was cute. They have George's gluten-free pizza and snacks. Next up is Liberty Launch. Yeah, I think, I'm gonna have a hard time getting in this seat. So I appreciate you. No, thank you very much. No big deal whatsoever. You didn't cause me to eat all that pizza. That was another one with a nice big vertical jump that, you know, look, even if I could fit in, I could already tell it was gonna be tight. The rest of it, I don't know if would work. So we're gonna pass on that one, but on to the next one. A minimum of 36 inches to ride accompanied, 48 inches to ride alone. Alrighty, here's what this looks like. I might need to ask for a seatbelt extension. I do not. It was actually plenty long enough. Alrighty, no problem whatsoever on that. I just realized I don't know how far this has to come down. So Firecracker ended up being very similar to a, what do you call it? The Scrambler ride. But it was fun and passes the fat test. Next up is Rough Riders, and I love that. Go Teddy Roosevelt. They are bumper cars, but horses. And it is only one way, and that's a safety thing. So it's harder to actually, it's not as much fun as just being able to go wherever. But yeah, you do have to go in one direction. We might have a minute because there's only 2 of us in line. And 2 bumper cars ain't that fun. Okay, so there's no bar, but you have to buckle up, so you have to put it around your side. It took some finagling, but we were able to get it on here. These kids came up and started trash talking me afterwards. It was so funny. That was a blast. Anyway, Rough Riders passes the fat test. Okay, next up is the Carousel. You guys know I love a carousel. And I don't see any belts on it, which is great. Is there a weight limit? Looks like we're gonna be good to go, yay. The seat's too tiny. We're gonna move to that. Getting a nice big seat for my big seat worked out well. I love a carousel so much. The Star Spangled Carousel passes the fat test. Next is the Lewis and Clark Trail, which I think, yep, it's these old-timey cars. And great, because sometimes this thing, because it's such a slow loader, any kind of line can make it wait. But right now, nobody in line. Alrighty. Fantastic, thank you. Alright, so the seatbelt worked fine, but just so you guys know, if you do need a seatbelt extender, if you're a little bit bigger, that they can get you a seatbelt extender for this. Whee! I need it to go a little bit faster so I can get a breeze. So this is crazy hard to steer. I mean, you don't really have to steer, but it's very difficult to steer. I think they should really put something around the track to make that a little more interesting, a little more themed. But, I mean, it's what it is. So if you like that sort of thing, it's a little shaded ride for the most part. Get out, and as long as there's not a line, I wouldn't wait in a long line for it, for sure. But it passed the fat test. They have some plaques here about all the different trains they've had. Santa Claus Land Train, Mother Goose Land Train, Freedom Train, Santa Claus Land Railroad. Also, the flowers, just how they do the flowers. 4th of July, red and white. All right, now it's time to go into everyone's favorite holiday, Holly Dogs Fun Town. I'm not positive, but I think this section is more of the kids' rides. I think that's what we're going to end up seeing here. And we have Holly Dog with his cape out now, and Sam the Eagle. In my mind, I'm gonna get copyrighted. Holly Dog's Treehouse is a play area. There's a splash pad here. We've got Kitty's Tea Party here. Now you do have to be 36 inches for this one, and this is one anybody can ride over here. Let's go for the red one. It is a traditional teacup. You just push it in. It's got one of the small wheels, which is great. We got plenty of room here. And no problems at all. I don't actually ever spin that much when I'm on these rides. I don't like the spinning that much, but I want to test them. And I want to show you guys. If somebody else is on the ride, I'll let them spin. It was kind of funny because the only 2 other people showed up to get on there, and it was 2 other grown men like myself. And we were just all enjoying the teacups. Is the Howler, which is a family coaster. Looks like it's 36 inches minimum to ride, 42 to ride alone. Essentially like an Oscar the Grouch ride at SeaWorld. Now, the biggest challenge you're going to have is putting your legs in that little space. If you're riding, you know, you're not going to ride this by yourself. You're going to ride this with your kid. Kind of what I thought would happen. There's no way I could fit in that little side. Hurt my knee trying on that one. Ouch. Doggone trail. You have to be 42 inches to ride alone. If you're under 42 inches, you can ride with a supervising companion of at least 16 years old. No handheld infants. Okay, so you can see here that it's not a lot of room, and I'm not going to get in there because I just hurt my knee on the last one. So you're going to have a tough time on this one. I would not recommend it unless your kid really, really wants you to ride with them. And they'll have to ride in the front seat. So I almost missed this one. This is Tippy Canoes, and it's just a little canoe boat ride for the kids. They have Ben's soft pretzels. These are my favorite soft pretzels. I'm gonna try some of those later, but right now I wanna get real food. Which is great, because we're headed to Thanksgiving land. Next up is Plymouth Rock Cafe. All right, they have a premium meal, which is $20, or an adult meal with 2 sides or 3 sides for either $18 or $20. You can get roasted turkey, pulled pork, chicken and dumplings for the adult meal, or for the premium, you can get beef brisket or a giant turkey leg. They also have a vegetarian meal, which is 3 sides for $16. We got the turkey legs, the chicken and dumplings. What are these?
This one's beef brisket and this one's pulled pork.
Okay. And then we got the sides, mashed potatoes, we've got some dressing, some green beans. All right. I'm trying to figure out what I feel about this room. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, so we got the brisket, mashed potatoes and gravy, the beans and the stuffing, which does feel very Thanksgiving, and the cornbread. Unfortunately, cornbread is pretty cold. I was hoping for a warm cornbread. In my opinion, the food was fine. Did not like the green beans, but the dressing was fantastic. Are you interested in booking a trip, whether it's to Holiday World or somewhere else, especially Disney cruises, all-inclusives? That's what I focus on as a travel agent, especially making sure plus-size people are confident and they're ready to go. But if you're looking to travel, make sure to give me a call or check out the information down below. There's a form you can fill out or shoot me an email. That was so weird. So they just made an announcement about lightning in the area, and everything shut off for them to do it. And now, everybody just stopped and stood still to listen. It was really interesting. So a few things are shutting down because of the lightning in the area, and I'm sure we're about to get some rain for a little bit. Let's see how it goes. Time for Gobbler Getaway. It's one of the few indoor rides here. Looks like it's a shooter game. We've obviously seen this theme to a bunch of different things before. Scooby-Doo being a primary one that it used to be. Pirates at Six Flags now. So the gun gobbles when I don't know what. I don't know if you're supposed to wait. I don't really understand what's going on, but now they're singing and dancing turkeys, wishing us all a happy Thanksgiving. It's a fever dream style ride, and for some reason the last 3 rooms we don't shoot anything, but okay, it's fun. I got a 900. Apparently I'm a beginner turkey caller. No, y'all don't know either? Okay, we're just gobbling. I don't get it. Apparently the storyline is that all the turkeys have escaped and you're using a turkey caller to try to bring them back. And that's why everybody celebrates Thanksgiving at the end with a Broadway show put on by the turkeys. Well, I haven't really focused on it, but this is the first place I've noticed where you can grab alcohol at. Mayflower is a swinging ship ride. Most of the time I can fit on these. I'd say 80% of the time. It's closed though, so I can't officially test it. All right, the newest and most themed ride here, and the one the reason I actually heard about this place is Good Gravy Family Coaster. This is the most themed coaster for sure. There's a little play area over there. Some wet fans. I like this giant chicken counter timer. That's a Dippin' Dot stand back there. This is the only ride here that has a test seat. Let's see. It's just a lap bar, but your legs do have to go between that. Let's see. That's where it turns green. Right there. I can cross my legs and that makes it a little easier to go down, but still no green light. This is the only queue that I've seen that looks themed. Thought I'd show it to you. I assume she's the one that makes the gravy.
This house since 1972. Please put away your cigarettes and vapes.
Oh, I love that. They put together a trophy ship. All right, next up is Turkey Whirl. 36-inch minimum height requirement, 48-inch stride alone. This is great. So, besides the fact that it looks great as a turkey, it is a traditional tilt-a-whirl, which means they're free spinning, so be careful depending on how you get in one if it's on a hill. And then these are gravity bars, which means they don't actually lock in place, just all the force keeps them down. So that was interesting. Mine didn't really spin, like it didn't spin all the way around at all. It just kind of rocked, which was nice. It felt good. I didn't get dizzy or anything because of that, but it didn't really spin. But more importantly, it passed the fat test. So I thought I'd done everything back here, but apparently it keeps going and there's a hill back here. They do have a summer spectacular and it's definitely going by the time you see this. Unfortunately, it starts the day after I leave. Next up is Cruz Nest.
Welcome to Cruz Nest. You must be at least 42 inches tall to ride. Riders between 42 inches and 48 inches tall must be accompanied by a supervising companion who's at least 16 years old.
Loose items, such as cell phones, must be in your pocket or in a small bag secured to your person, which are permitted on this ride, provided they do not interfere with the safety.
Oh, he tried his best to help me with it, but if you see this, I couldn't really, my thighs were in the way, so I couldn't get it done. So it's very close. And if you have somebody to help you, might have better luck, but I didn't want to push it. But it failed the pat test for me. You might have better luck. It was very, very close. They do have a test seat here. This is only the second one I've seen. This is interesting. If only the red one works, which is a little bit longer, you have to ride 2 or 3, but they also have the black one on here, and if that one works, you can ride pretty much anywhere. We can see how this is. Yeah. Unfortunately, just the seat is too small, so I'm not going to try to force myself into it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I've gone ahead and built an entire guide for you for this park, so you can get it absolutely free at the link down below. It's a one-pager, and you can see it's color-coded. You can see what I was able to fit on, and I rank it green, yellow, orange, and red. Red if it was really far off and I couldn't make it at all. Orange if it was really tough, or I think it might be I was just a little bit outside of it. Green, obviously, if it's super easy, and yellow because maybe there's a step or something that might make it a little more difficult for you. So that's all I've got those for all of these parks that I'm doing. You can check that out below. It's absolutely free. And then you'll also be joining my email list. You'll get a bunch of free stuff through that as well. I've got all of the parks and information. If you have a large group you want to take to a theme park or on an educational event, schools, churches, etc., my mom actually runs Blue Ridge Tours. If you go to blueridgetours.net, check out the information below. She would love to help you out with those logistics. Her husband has been doing this for 35 years. They have a great safety record and love to handle your logistics and make life easier for you. So make sure to check them out below. Guys, before I forget, I've got to tell you about the hotel that is hosting me for the next few days so I can film at this park. It's called Santa's Lodge. It's 5 minutes from here. It is fantastic. It's so nostalgic. Yes, it's outdated in the best way possible. I absolutely love it. It feels like the kind of vacations my family would take back in the day in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm telling you, this is a throwback in all of the best ways. Make sure to, but most importantly, it's clean, it's affordable, and it's very local. So make sure to check it out if you're planning on coming to Holiday World or anywhere near Santa Claus, Indiana. And they do some great Christmas events if you happen to be coming up during that time as well. All right, next up is the Voyage. Unfortunately, this is the same exact design as the other two wooden roller coasters, and the seat is just too tight. The good thing is that if you have a way, if you can fit in one of them, you'll be able to ride all of them, because they're all three the exact same vehicle. So you should be good in every single one of them if you can fit in any of them. Unfortunately, the exact same goes. If you can't fit in one of them, you can't fit in any of them, from what I can tell. So that's going to be a no from me, but on to the next one. That's going to do it for the dry rides. Now time for the water rides and the water park. And to celebrate getting done with all of those, I get my favorite Ben's soft pretzel. Look at that. I usually don't get excited because they're usually... Shh. I usually don't get that excited over soft pretzels, but these, I had this at IAPA, and I'm telling you, that line was forever long. One of the longest for the entire show. I think this is the only water ride here, Frightful Falls. You have to be 36 inches tall to ride with a companion, or 48 inches tall to ride alone. The queue is super narrow. Alright, so it is kind of an omni-mover, so it's just, if you have to ask them to stop it, you're feel free to. But it's kind of constantly going, so you get in and then you have to hop out of it while it's slowly moving. I don't think there's any restraints at all, so if you can sit down into it, you're good to go. So there's not a ton to it. You start off by going through a pitch black tunnel, which is kind of scary. And then there's some little bitty graveyards. That's about it. And then you go up a hill and straight back down. But it passes the fat test. Now to Splashin' Safari water park. I really like the statues they have in here. If you don't know, I love Americana, so I really like this towel and this tumbler over here. The rest of the theme park has felt kind of empty. I'm assuming that means all the people are here. Everybody, this is very popular. I like this sign. You have all of the attractions and then the food and drink options. Watubi, you have to have at least 2 people, up to 4 riding, and you should be able to do this though with at least 2 because it has a weight limit of 800 pounds. Otterango has a weight limit of 250 pounds. I do wish they'd make the weight limit a little more visible. I'm having to read this. Oh, I do see a sign over here on this one. So there's that. I like the symbols with it. That makes it much easier to find the weight limits. You do have to carry a tube up. Mistki Pool, it looks like you've got a lot. It's like the kids pool. So if you want like just a low, so if you want a short level water, that's where you go for that. I'm great with words. Zimbabwe, 42 inches tall to ride, 48 inches to ride alone. Combined limit of 600 pounds, but you have to have a minimum of 2 people to ride. I love these type of slides. Now there's rare that I can do one of them, but they are fun. But honestly, you guys know I'm not necessarily disappointed in not having to climb up all of this. Splashland, giant splash pad. All right, we found one that does not have a weight limit as far as I can tell here at Jungle Racer. For this one, you take your mat up, you just lay down on it on your stomach, and then you race down. We have some toddler slides over here. This is Bahari, where they have the sprayers and the wave pool, and I can hear the kids chanting, "We want the wave. We want waves. We want waves." You can get down deep enough where you cannot touch bottom, unless you're like really tall. I don't know. I'm short. I hope you guys can hear that. These kids have seen a lot of protests, I think. What do Indiana kids know about protesting? It's a union pool. They're organizing. Oh, they got what they wanted finally. Oh. I'm under attack. They all came forward. It's actually pretty decent waves. I mean, it's not Typhoon Lagoon, but it's cool. So Wildebeest is the most popular water attraction here. Unfortunately, it's temporarily closed. Now, the sign is up there, so I am going to slightly break the rules. I don't recommend this, but I'm just gonna go film the sign real quick because they put it up there instead of at the entrance here, and I wanna know what the weight limit is. I think this is actually a coaster, a water coaster with multiple launches. Okay, this one doesn't have a minimum weight. It actually has a combined weight of at least 200. You do have to have multiple people to ride, and it can't go over 800 pounds. Mammoth is another group raft one. You have to have at least, you actually have to have a combined weight of at least 500 pounds, but not exceeding 1,050 per boat. Says this one has a free-falling sensation, high speeds. This is the mandatory riding positions. You may be able to do this if you've got a group with you. I don't want to go on it by myself and be stuck with people I don't know, because then that you have to figure out the weights and everything. But that is what it looks like. There's an observation deck for this too. It actually looks pretty long too. It's a pretty big, there's a lot going on there. Looks like it fits up to 6 people. I think if you can get comfortably in that position down onto the raft, you should be perfectly fine with it. They might not put all 6 people in there because there's no weight limit per person on it. So that's a great one you can try. It's about an hour wait. I'm not going to do it today, but because I just don't think I feel comfortable getting in that position. But if you're able to, then you should be fine. We have a large play area here. I really like the monkey. That's fun. Cheetah Chaser looks intense. So Cheetah Chase was the world's first water coaster apparently, and I do appreciate the large notice here. You have to have at least 2 people. It can't exceed 500 pounds, and so I'd have to have a smaller person with me. It must be at least 225, and a single person can't exceed 340. And I am just over that. I was wondering if they had a lazy river. Looks like here it is. Oh, and I see they actually have seats. That's so rare. Disney's the only place I've seen the seats. Looks like the seat has come out of most of them. Bakuli. Another multi-raft one. This one, you have to be 42 inches tall, 48 inches to ride alone. The combined weight of everybody is 700 for 4 passengers, and you can have 2 passengers on there, so you'd probably pass this one if you have somebody to ride with. I missed this one. Looks like they have another wave pool over here. And a little cove for the children over there.